Eagle Ops, this is Dagger 4 at 86752. Eagle Ops, come in! This is Sergeant Walker separated from my element. Troops in contact, taking heavy fire. Need backup now. Any station that's net, please respond. I'm all alone here. Can't hold on much longer.
The Stone Vet. I hit the ground running when I...
What's up, guys? RNG here from the STONED VET USMC. Super excited to be here with you guys, man. You guys heard, right? I didn't win any awards this year with the Veteran Podcast Awards. You guys, I don't know what happened. I told Shane over there, Broken Jar, I said, I want to see the numbers, dude. I know I got a massive audience, and you're telling me these two other freaking jarheads won the award this year? Let me see the numbers. I want to see the numbers. So we'll see, right? So as of right now, I'm still the #1 Marine Corps podcast, right, for 2021. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like, subscribe, and share. You can see the beautiful awards, right? My gold Warhammer for 2021 top Marine Corps podcast, and the top podcast for Chronic Palooza here in Oklahoma. I won these because of you guys that are listening in. I don't know what happened this year. Maybe I didn't hit my target audience this year like I did last year or whatever the case may be. Hey, it is what it is, but I'm still passionate about what I'm doing. Right? Why? Because there's nobody else doing what I'm doing for you guys, right? A freaking jarhead talking about cannabis on a weekly basis, 2 times a week right now. You guys are getting me? Dude, you can't beat that. Nobody's helping provide the education that we need to get an understanding about plant-based medicine, man. But I appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out with me today, being able to listen to my wonderful guests that I bring on a weekly basis, right? The guests I bring on, you guys have an understanding that these guests are passionate about this plant. They have an understanding of how this plant has helped them tremendously in regards to recovery, in regards to living a better life and getting off the opioids that we continue being prescribed by the VA, man. I'm super excited today, man. I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Rafa 180. Rafa 180 provides you the best medicinal grade THC-free CBD on the market, like I tell you guys on a weekly basis. If you have a job, if you got a job and you can't have THC, you still need to replenish your endocannabinoid system. Are there a ton of CBD out there? You're absolutely right. My biggest thing, though, is do you know where it's coming from? Do you know how it's being processed? Do you know what's in your CBD? What I love about Rafa 180, they provide you all the lab reports needed so you know exactly what's in your product that you're ingesting. You have got to have an understanding of why it's so important to see these lab reports because, like I said, you guys saw the big boom of CBD when it hit the country, right? In 2018 Farm Bill passed, CBD was everywhere. Gas stations, liquor stores, freaking anywhere and everywhere it was at, right? And if you guys don't know where it's coming from, you can't go to the gas station and say, hey, can I see your lab report? You're going to be like, I ain't got no damn lab report for you. What the? You want to buy it or you don't want to buy it? I don't know, right? Well, that's what I love about Rafa 180. They provide you a lab report for the product you're buying. And if you need help, right? Because when you look at CBD, there's different dosings, right? You got 250 milligrams, 500 milligrams, 600 milligrams, 9,000 milligrams, 25,000 milligrams CBD. And you're like, I don't know what I need, right? Rafa 180 will hold your hand and guide you to the proper dosing that you need. And guess what? They got gummies in stock, some of the best gummies I've ever ingested. And you guys that have been watching, I'm on the downward slope of my probation. I'm less than 30 days out from probation, right? I've been ingesting this CBD for the past 2 years that I've been on probation, and I have yet to pop on my urinalysis that they send out to get drug testing on. This isn't an at-home drug testing. They're sending it to a lab to do the drug testing on, and I haven't popped. So if you guys do work in a job and you're not allowed to you're not able to consume THC, go get the CBD because you have to replenish your endocannabinoid system. Go over to rafa180.com. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com to get all your medicinal grade CBD needs. Check out with the Stone Vet USMC and get 15% off your entire purchase. Spend $85 or more and get free priority shipping to your front door. That's like 2-day shipping, dude. That's like Amazon shipping to your front door, dude. Within 2 days. You can't beat that, man. I'm super excited to be here today, man. I got another amazing guest coming on. I was listening to the girls that I competed with against for Chronic Palooza Podcast Awards over at Cannabis Hangouts. I was listening to them, and I listened to this wonderful gentleman who's in Oklahoman as well, man, which is awesome because you guys know about Oklahoma. If you guys have been watching, if you guys have been in the cannabis industry, you guys know about Oklahoma. We kind of like the wild, wild west out here is what people keep saying because we kind of do our own thing. We don't really have any rules.
That's for sure.
We do, right? We do the way we want to do it, right? And a lot of people are like, dang, dude, we can't even do that, man. I think we probably have we gotta probably have the most freaking grows and the most dispensaries in any state in our state. And it's insane, man. But I'm so glad to be here today. I'm bringing on a gentleman that goes by Josh McGill, but his name is Lucky. I'll let him get into that about why he goes into Lucky. What's going on, Lucky? How you doing today?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm super excited that we're actually able to do this. We've been going back and forth. And like I tell people who listen to the show, we all have lives. We all got kids. We got family. We got this and that we're doing. And it's always like a hit or miss. Like, dang, we can't do it today. Let's figure out a day that we can do this. And I'm super excited that we're able to do this today, to be able to come on here, man, and be able to do this and be able to come on here and be able to talk about your story about the amazing things you've done, man. You guys don't know Lucky here. Lucky here, he's got a hell of a story, especially here in Oklahoma. When back in 2018, we legalized cannabis here in Oklahoma on a medicinal level, right? Which is a freaking amazing, dude. It's been a game changer, right? And they're trying to put it on the ballot for recreational. They just said that they didn't hit the whatever. I don't know, dude. It's all politics, dude. Like everything else, it's all freaking politics and. Somebody didn't get their hands shook the right way, and they said, well, not this year. We'll have to wait till next year. What? I don't know, dude. I don't care. Cannabis is here. I don't care if it's on the medicinal level. I don't care if it's on the rec level. It's here.
Absolutely.
Which is amazing, man. But I'm bringing on Lucky here. I'm going to let Lucky introduce himself a little bit and let you tell a little bit about his story about why he's so passionate about this plant. Here you go, Lucky. Go ahead and take the microphone.
Man, all right. I appreciate it. First off, I just want to say thank you, for having me on here. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to sit with you. I've listened to your shows, and man, you've got a really good thing going on here. And I also want to say thank you for your service to our country and all your brothers and sisters in the service. God bless y'all. Thank you so much for what you do. We appreciate you very much. And so, how it kind of got started, like most people when they start with cannabis, it's probably not for a medicinal reason.
Yeah, right. Like a majority of us when we started, we just started just because it was fun to do.
Yeah, just back in high school, it is what it is.
Yeah, and right.
And it was what it was, and so, but I started to notice. So I'm ADHD. I can't sit still, and I'm Irish, so that means I can't shut up. So you mix those two together in school, and you're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Right.
And so, come high school, I started to notice, because I'd smoke before school and at lunch, and I noticed that I was able to sit still and focus, and I was able to retain the information that I learned. And so, I didn't really I noticed it, but I didn't notice it.
Right.
And it wasn't until after graduated, a friend of mine moved out to California, and he sent me he sent me something. And I when it arrived, I said, well, why does yours look like an angel delivered it, and mine looks like it came out of a vacuum out of a donkey?
Why don't it look like brickweed, buddy?
And mine smells like gasoline. Yours smells like heaven, man. What's going on here? And so he started to educate me as to all the different types. Now in Oklahoma, man, is the Bible Belt. So, it was illegal, kids are smoking it on the down low. It was, it was hard to, and I didn't have the internet back then. I'm class of 96. And so no, didn't have that. I had to go to the library and read. Most kids, they don't even know what that is.
Right. Just Google it. Just Google it. It'll show you.
Yeah, they look up library. And so I started to kind of do some research, but at the same time, I need to preface with I'm a cops kid. My dad was Department of Justice, United States Marshal Service Air Operations, and my mom was the EMT instructor for the Oklahoma Highway Patrol when I was a kid. And so I caused a lot of trouble. My older brother was the golden child, and so I was the trouble one. But as the years went on, and I started to focus more and learn kind of more as to what, you want the good stuff. You like, well, I want that. I don't want that. Yeah, I mean, I'll take what I can get, but I mean, it is, it's whatever. But
Right.
I really started to understand. And then I'm just one of those people, I want to know what it is. I wanted to know why it was so pretty. Why did it have all these crystals on it? But why are they different colors? Why is it variegated? Why is it this one purple and this one blue and this one bright green? And so I really started to understand. And it's really funny because we laugh, we talk about terpenes, right?
Right.
Terpenes are in everything. And it took cannabis to put terpenes on the planet so that people really understand what they are. But, I have to tell, I was like, guys, terpenes are in every single, if it grows on this planet,
absolutely.
It's got terpene.
And that's one thing I've been doing with my shows on Wednesdays, that I've been breaking down the terpene profile so that my audience has an understanding. It's like, you guys are already using these terpenes. You guys use these terpenes every day. You guys are smelling them every day. You're cooking with them every day.
Every day of your life since you were born.
Yeah, every day. You're eating them, you're ingesting them, you're cleaning with them. You are using these terpenes every day. So let me educate you about how they help. And that's why I'm hoping that when they smell it, they're like, that relaxed me a little bit, or that put me in an uplifting mood, or that, that gave me an up, and so that they have an understanding, like you're saying. It's in the cannabis plant, and it's amazing what it does in this plant.
It's wonderful. And as I started to learn this, and in the years went on, and I would study, and I'd read books and all this stuff, I was very fortunate that two of my best friends are doctors. One's an MD, the other's a DO. One's chief of radiology. They're at a hospital in Oklahoma. I have to. He appreciates the industry, but we won't be saying his name.
Right.
So, and then my other friend is an anesthesiologist, and he did all his stuff down at Baylor at one time, and so he's since moved on to bigger and better things. But these guys allowed me access to medical reports and medical files that weren't public record yet. All medical stuff, before it comes out as public record, it goes through a series of channels and, red tape and this and that and the other. And so back in 2014, my dad developed cancer. And my dad also, being extremely unique, was the poster child for polio in England, because he contracted polio over there when the vaccine came out here. My grandfather's Colonel U.S. Air Force.
Oh, wow.
And so they were stationed over there. And coincidentally, my dad is also in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's the youngest pilot to ever have polio and fly. I want to say he was age 11, something like that. I can't remember. Sometimes the age would change depending on who was telling the story. But my dad was on, and he was, I respect the man. He was always a big fan of cannabis, but he was by the book. And I always respected that. Do you know my dad has never seen me smoke? Really? Not once. I did that out of respect for him. Also, the term plausible deniability comes into play. Right. So my dad, he develops cancer, and he was on 7.5 Lortab a day. Damn. Never abused him. He took him like clockwork. But my dad was, my family was that generation where they entertained. So my mom was an amaretto drinker, and my dad was a Scotch man. Right. And so they drank, they smoked, and that is what, of course, contributed. Too much alcohol and too much cigarettes will cause disease. So I tell people that all the time. It's not if, it's when. If that's your lifestyle, nothing's free. You're gonna have to pay for it somewhere.
Absolutely, and that's what I tell the doctors. Right, every time you go into the doctor, like, "Are you allergic to this?" I said, "Not yet."
Not yet.
What? I said, "Not yet. I'm not allergic to anything yet, but it's a matter of time." It's like they say with cancer, right? That's the same thing with cancer. It's like it's not if you catch it, it's when you catch it, right? Because it's the lifestyle, right? We live a certain lifestyle, and it's that whatever we're ingesting, whatever we're around, whatever we put our bodies through, it's just something that's going to trigger it because it lives inside of us. It's just something that's going to trigger it and say, "Okay, here I am. I'm here. You wanted to see me,"
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel. It's like, when the doctors say, "Are you allergic to anything?" Well, not yet. I'm not. Let's try it. Let's try it and see, and we'll find out if I am or not. But as of right now, I'm not aware that I am allergic to it, But it's like, it's stuff like that, like you said, with your parents and stuff. You drink, you smoke, it's inedible. You're poisoning yourself,
Yeah, they did it their whole lives. So and I did too. I drank, I smoked. Right. I'll be very honest with you. I'm an ex-drug addict, and so I understand. I get it. And so you want to. At some point, everybody realizes, they have that moment of clarity where you're like, oh, okay, this isn't fun anymore. I'm either sick or halfway not sick.
Right.
And you want better. The cannabis plant helped me, just like it's helped many others. Now, what's really kind of funny is the people that I helped in Oklahoma with this and with the knowledge that I have, 126 bodies total, 124 people and 2 service dogs. Out of that 126, I can count on 2 hands all the people that actually we used THC to assist them. You had mentioned your, probation and the CBD, and 95% of my patients were nothing but the CBD, CB, and CBG side of the cannabinoid spectrum.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people that do have a sensitivity to THC. There's a lot of people that, that's when people take it for the first time, most of the time the friend's giving them something, they don't know the dosage, you don't know what's in it. And so most of the time people have a really bad experience their first time with an edible, something along those lines. And so there's a science and a method to it. The first thing I tell people when they're starting to go down this road, don't listen to your friends.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. I mean, because they're different. Their chemistry is different. They could be paradoxical. They could not be paradoxical. We don't know until we find out. Everybody is different, and it takes just listening. We talked to, you mentioned the endocannabinoid system. And this is what's really fascinating. Even on a biological species scale, if we want to break it down that way, or going into anthropology or archaeology, it's the only cannabinoid-based plant on the planet.
Yeah.
Mammals are really the dominant cannabinoid-based species on the planet. There are a couple other species that have it too, but not like mammals do, and especially in humans and primates.
Right.
And so and it's so funny, when I'd go into a dispensary, the first thing out of the people's mouth, here, smell this. I'm like, no,
why?
Don't do that. First and foremost, like I mentioned, you got to know about being paradoxical, and I read on that because I had, there's people that they couldn't figure out why, and so once we establish the paradoxical thing, then the jars can come out. Right. But if somebody doesn't smoke, I can't good conscience tell you to start smoking.
Right.
So then we go to the edible spectrum.
Right.
And that's when it becomes very detailed, and it becomes very where it's, and I set people's expectations, and if your listeners are listening to me, guys, there is not a one and done. Okay. There is not an overnight cure. This is a process, just like being at a doctor's office. You start with a very small dosage, a small amount. You take it, you see what happens. Now, if you take it and a couple hours go past, you don't feel anything, do not take more. Respect the edible. Do not eat more, please.
Been there, done that.
A few times, because I'm that guy. You just got to make a mistake a few times to make sure you get it right.
Right. Been there, done that. Well, that's one thing I tell my audience. Right? That's one thing I tell my audience is like, when you start consuming cannabis, you need to journal it. Whether you write it down, you take notes in your phone. You need to write down the name of the strain, the terpenes that are in it, the THC volume in it. Is there any CBD volume in it? And how did it make you feel? Right?
That's right.
Because the next time you go back to a dispensary, you're going to be like, I didn't like that terpene. It didn't help me. I didn't like the way it made me feel. It gave me anxiety or gave me depression or whatever. So okay, I got to stay away from that terpene. That terpene did horrible things to me.
That's correct.
And that's what I try to tell my audience. Like, if you're going to start consuming, you have got to journal this so you know exactly what you're consuming. And like you said, that's what I love about my sponsor, Rafa 180, is that, like you said, try it for a little bit. They want you to try it to see, is it going to work or is it not going to work? Because if not, then we need to figure out, okay, let's go a different angle with it, right?
That's correct.
Let's go at a different angle. Maybe you need CBG. Maybe you just need more CBD and not any CBG. Because there's some people, like you said, with the CBG is a stimulant. And sometimes people that take the CBG, they get agitated, they get angry, they get a little upset, right? Okay, let's get you off the CBG and up your CBD, right? So we can get the same medicinal benefit. But now it's not a stimulant. Now you're not going to be angry. You're not going to be upset. You're not going to be fired, You're going to actually be like, oh, I'm getting the relief and I'm not angry now,
That's right. And it's definitely a process of elimination.
Absolutely.
And just like you said, you keep a journal, you notate. Yes. Out of all those people, I told them, I said, when you go home, write the strain down. And they're like, I don't need to know if it's an indica or sativa. I already know what it is. And then let me know how it made you feel. And so my method when I was working at a dispensary in Oklahoma and I was helping people, I established the paradoxical thing first and foremost. That's the first thing you got to do.
Explain that to my audience, the whole paradoxical thing. Explain that to my audience.
So paradoxical, and I'm sure, all you guys have had a friend, family member or something that when they take a Benadryl or they've had maybe a painkiller, it's something that's sedative, and but it doesn't make them sleepy. It gives them energy and they bounce off the walls. These people are called paradoxical because their chemistry is flipped. Now, this is why this is so important. Paradoxical people, an indica works like a sativa and a sativa works like an indica. So if you have, had great, and you recommended to a friend, hey man, you need some sleep, you're hurting, man, you need to get this Master Kush, get some Bubba Kush or some Northern Lights, you need that heavy indica. And then he comes to you the next day and he's pissed off because he cleaned his house on him. Now he's even more in pain.
He's like, I've been up all night, man.
He's even more in pain, and he's probably was cussing your name when he was vacuuming at 3:30 in the morning.
Right. Motherfucker got me vacuuming.
That's it. And so, but these folks, they need a sativa dominant to make them sleepy or to have painkiller effect. When we find somebody that's paradoxical, I always start in the 50-50 hybrid range because paradoxical people can go either way. Their chemistry is very unique. And so we have to venture out a little each way. And I said, we keep notes, we keep track. At the dispensary, I had our POS system allowed me to keep track of everything that they ever bought. And so I could go through and we could look at, because I'm one of those people, like, I'm going to make you educate yourself. You're putting this stuff in your body. And as much as I'm going to be with you on this journey, I'm not always going to be there to hold your hand. And so I need to educate these people on what to look for. And it's the terpenes, it's the strains. And once we establish if they're paradoxical or not, then the jars come out. And people need to take time. It's not, I know people can get a little overwhelmed in a dispensary and anxiety. And if you guys are in Oklahoma and you are looking, and let's say, because it can be overwhelming, it can be a thing, there's still a stigma, especially if you're, the elderly community, they if they want to go to a dispensary, it better look like a medical clinic. And there's only one that I know of in Oklahoma that is a medical clinic and works just like a doctor's office, and that's Silverleaf Dispensary. It's over off 63rd Meridian. My buddy Jerry Almuffla owns it, and coincidentally, he's the only other cannabis advisor in the state that we know of. And so, but once we figure out the paradoxical and we start pulling out the jars, and I know you can smell it, you can smell it, and what smells bad, what smells good. I'm going to keep pulling out the jars, and this is why it's so important for a dispensary to have a large selection. Right. And I'm going to get to that here in just a second. And that is, when the jars are coming out and you're like, oh, I can smell that. Oh, that smells okay. Yeah, I can smell that one. Okay, that one, no, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for when I pull out the jar and I take the lid off and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, and it's always a reaction like that. It's a huge reaction. It's not subtle. It's not, no, it's big and it slaps you in the face. And that's when, and if you take the time and you get that 90% of that time, that strain is going to work really well for them. And here is why. The plant and the terpenes, and this is real important, are talking to the human body.
No, I agree.
They're talking to the cannabinoid system and they're talking back and forth.
Yeah, no.
And your brain's like, hey, that's what you need. That's what you need. Uh-huh. So when that smell, because the olfactory senses in the cannabinoid plant, that's how this all works. And we get to see a chemical reaction and a biological reaction take place in the human body that's not subtle. That's not, oh, we have to take notes like a scientist over time. No, it slaps you right in the face. Yeah. But people don't take the time. And all of the kids that are working in the dispensary
don't know.
No. And they don't educate themselves because they think that the guy next to them or that hired them, they assume that he knows everything there's to know, and that person doesn't know either.
And that's the thing, right? So, like you just said that, right? So I had Abdul Saeed, he's one of the podcast guys from Great Moments in Weed History. He said the same thing. He said, "Go to the dispensary." He said, "Smell them." And he said, "You'll smell the one. You'll smell the one. It's gonna smack you in the face, and be like, yeah, that's it." He said, "Your body's gonna tell you exactly what it wants. It's gonna tell you what it needs." Like you said, you're like, "Oh, that's it. That's the one. That smells amazing, right?" Like you said, your body's telling you. It's talking. They're talking to each other, right? It's the endocannabinoid system talking, saying, "Hey, this is what our body needs. We need this." You know.
I was like, we are getting to witness something on a primal level, and people dismiss it. I'm like, guys, this is really cool. Old school Mr. Wizard, Bill Nye science type shit.
Right. No, absolutely.
Really good stuff.
No, absolutely. That's what it's about, guys. And this is what I tell you guys about that are listening on the show, man. This is about terpenes, right? Terpenes are in everything we do. You go outside, you smell the trees, you smell the trees, you smell the grass. Those are all terpenes.
And the colors too.
You smell roses, lilies, lilacs, dandelions. Those are all terpenes that you're smelling, right? Cannabis has the exact same terpenes, and your body's like, when you perk up, what is that?
Yep.
Your body, your endocannabinoid system is saying, we need that. I mean, I'll drive here in Oklahoma, man. You roll down the windows, man. Like I said, we got so many grows in the state. You could drive down the highway and be like, where's that one coming from? You know, you could literally smell it driving down the highway. You can smell the cannabis, and you're like, man, you know. And for me, I've been on a tolerance break for 2.5 years. I got less than 30 days left. I've been on a tolerance break for 2.5 years. And after when my probation's over, I told him, I said, game over. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, we gonna have to big kick it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. But I said I've been on a tolerance break, which is great because everybody who consumes is always like, I gotta take a tolerance break. But we never do, right? Because we just enjoy. We enjoy the feeling that we achieve when we consume cannabis, right? It provides so much comfort, right? Regardless what pain. Biggest thing is pain management. It helps so much with pain management, anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, OCD. It helps so much, and a lot of people aren't understanding that. Like all these pills and medications that we get put on because of our ailments that we suffer from living life, right? No matter you served in the military or you just lived life, you put your body through hell, and you've encountered a lot of crap. Like you've done a lot of crap, right?
Yeah.
But to understand how cannabis can help you live this so-called normal life that we all want to live and achieve, cannabis helps tremendously. You know, my wife always tells me, she's like, you smoke just to get high.
No.
I smoke to feel good. I like to be high. Yes, I love to be high.
It's the added perk.
It's just the added perk, but I just love to feel good. Man. Yeah. I love to feel good. You know, that's the icing on the cake. To be high is just the icing on the cake, but I feel good. I feel normal. I can go outside and mow my yard and feel completely fine mowing my yard. Yeah. And that's one of the stigmas that people get stuck on. It's like, oh, he's just going to smoke weed and sit on the couch and eat chips and popcorn all day. No, Not at all, dude. I've got bodybuilders who smoke before they go to the gym and spend 3 hours in the gym. They get out of the gym, they smoke some more to deal with the pain management. Yeah, I was like, you guys have got to understand the cannabis strains, the terpenes, and how this helps. Like you were saying, if you're paradoxical, you're going to smoke more of the sativa to help you sleep. You'll smoke more of the indica to keep you up and awake, to go and clean your house, to go and do stuff with the kids, to go to plays, soccer practice, soccer games, football games, and to do those things, you know? And that's what I try to tell a lot of people. I said, when I was going to work, I was high every freaking day. Because I had to tolerate the ignorance that was in my office, but nobody knew that I was high. You know, I made it aware that nobody knew that I was high. I was high. I knew I was high, but nobody knew that I was high because I was functioning. I was functioning at 100% and better than I am when I'm sober.
Yeah, I've been smoking since I was 16 years old, maybe a little before.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, guys, that I keep telling you guys about, is that this is one of the plants that you don't need to be afraid of. Are you scared because you don't know anything about it? Absolutely. I completely agree with you 100%. I mean, Lucky here will tell you the people that have come to him for help have all been scared shitless because they're like, I don't know, but I need something different in my life. Right.
They were predominantly elderly, is what I've helped. And then they were afraid, they're scared of it because of all the stories that go around about, you know, the first time somebody eats an edible, you know, there's a science to this. There's a method, and you need to find somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. You know, we were talking to, you know, going back to the paradoxical thing, you know, when people have ADD and ADHD, the medicine that they prescribe, I'm not paradoxical, even though I'm ADHD. So you give me some Vyvanse or Ritalin or Adderall, and man, I'm like a thoroughbred racehorse. Gone. Yeah, good luck. We're gonna have to find me a few miles down the road. But those are paradoxical people, and the reason why is because when they take that medicine, it allows them to focus and sit still. And so, but people like me, we can't, because it turns us into monsters. Right. So we have this. We have cannabis, and it's very beneficial. Like I said, even if you don't add THC to it, the CBD, CBN, CBG, actually CBG being the mother cannabinoid of the plant. It's not, you know, people think that it's THC, and it's not at all.
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD, their website www.rafa180.com, or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
Yeah.
There's just so much, and you just got to find somebody that's reputable, knows what they're talking about, or someone that can, you know, guys, if you listen to this podcast and listen to the show, you know, educate yourselves, know exactly what it is that you're looking for. And then, you know, with the flower, it's different. You can find your strain and find what it is. And at some point, as we're pulling out those jars, and usually about the second or third time that we've gone through this process, we find what we call your omega strain. The omega strain is the end all magic, wonderful. And what we do is, once we find that strain, I will research the top 6 terpenes in the order that they fall in. And we're going to go find every other strain that matches that and comes close to it. Because what we need to do is we need to give you a list of those strains that have all of that, because you can't just smoke one strain over and over. You acclimate to it, or you get used to.
Right.
And
you need
don't want that. And now you're spending more money, and you know, now it's like it's taking more. Right. But if you rotate these strains out, not only that, but it helps to also fine tune that special terpene that works well. So like, for me, my favorite strains are like Northern Lights, the heavy Kush spectrum. I'm heavy indica all the way.
Yeah.
But the one terpene that I cannot do, which is the number one for pain, and that's caryophyllene. And because it's the pepper terpene. Man, that lights me up like the 4th of July. I hate it. Does it work? Oh yeah, it's great. If I can get through the inferno that is my throat when I'm done. So, but I like the dessert strains. I like dessert, and so you know, like I want to say the Girl Scout cookies, ice cream cake, and stuff like that was really good. And now I'm a hash rosin guy, just because my tolerance is.
I've just discovered I got a buddy here. He does every seed canna here in Oklahoma City, and that's his big thing is bubble hash. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to try some of this. It looks delicious. It looks delicious.
Now remember, you've been on a tolerance break for a while, so you need to slowly ease in there, buddy.
I told him I'm gonna do a blunt. I'm gonna it's gonna be weed. It's gonna be weed. Then it's gonna be crystals. Then it's gonna be hash, and then I'm gonna seal it with rosin.
Your miss is gonna call me. How do we counteract him? He's passed out.
My wife already had to treat me because I overdosed on cannabis. Right? I had read an article 1 week, and it said people were throwing up from smoking too much weed. I said, who the fuck throws up smoking too much weed? Not that weekend later, I was throwing up because I smoked too much freaking weed. I had like 200 milligram gummies. Then I smoked some diamonds. And I don't even know what happened the rest of the day. My wife was like, she was just pounding CBD. She's like, drink this, eat this, drink this, smoke this. She was like, CBD, 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 CBD. It must have been an hour just ingesting CBD to bring me down from the high. And I was like, I'm glad you're here because it would have been horrible for me. I was like, man.
And it works. My CBD works.
It works. The CBD works. It bring you down from that high you don't want to be on anymore. And a lot of people, that's one of the things, guys. This is one of the things. This is why I love doing the show, right? Because it's an educational piece. We are here to help educate, right? A lot of people, like, if you get that high where you're like, I don't like how this feels, take CBD. Start ingesting CBD. It'll start bringing you back down. It'll start balancing you out. It will start balancing it out, right? And Lucky knows. Lucky will tell you, dude. Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. And if you're starting out on this journey, the best thing that you can have is keep some CBD tinctures in your fridge. And if you, especially when we're talking about edibles, edibles, eating and smoking is two different things.
Yes.
And when you eat it, you're in it for the long haul.
That's a long ride. If you're ingesting it, that's a long ride. You're going to be in it for a while.
You take an extra hit off a blunt, you can pull in a Whataburger real quick. Edible? No, there's none of that.
No, there's none of that. You're going to be, it's a long ride. It's going to be a long ride for a while. And if it's not a good journey, definitely, you're going to have to ingest some of that CBD. You go to Rafa 180 to get some of that CBD and start
keep them tinctures. I'm telling you, you will praise my name. It will keep you from throwing up all night.
Right? Absolutely. And that's one of the amazing things, And like I said, Lucky here, he's got amazing stories. Like I said, he's been helping patients for a long time now. I mean, we're in 2022 and he's still helping people on a regular basis. I mean, granted, he moved to Colorado because he said it got too hot in Oklahoma and he's a little delicate to that. But no, I mean, Colorado's a beautiful place.
That's from all the cupcakes that I eat. You know what I'm saying? Right. You are what you eat.
Right. And so now you're in Colorado. Are you still assisting with the patients and stuff? Because I know there it's recreational now, but
it is. And it is rec, and it's also medical. And here the laws are a lot different than they are in Oklahoma. It's a lot more strict, a lot more stringent. You can't just call a doctor and say, "Hey, I think my stomach hurts. I think I'm cannabis." They're gonna be like, "Man, no." It's you really have to go see a doctor. And
man, so it's not like Oklahoma where you say, "Hey, boss, my finger hurts. I need a medical card.
I got a splitter."
That's why we the Wild West, because it don't matter what you need.
So we call Oklahoma rec with rules.
Rec with rules, exactly.
Rec with rules. That's it. And so, a lot of the patients that I helped in Oklahoma, I still help, and but and also too, and what their most powerful weapon that they have in this journey is that I help them to educate themselves. And that I told them, you can always call me. I'm always going to be there. I'll always answer questions. And like, if you have, on your podcast, if you've got people that, have questions or call in and you talk to them, I'm always down to answer anything and help. I'm not trying to boast or brag or toot my own horn, but I have a 100% success rate. And it's because the method that I use in the questions that I ask, we pinpoint exactly what it is that you need. And everybody's different, and it takes a bit, but that's the level of care that I have, the passion for it, because I can sit with anyone, whether it's a 13-year-old child to an 80-year-old man. I can find something. I've helped with autism. I've helped with drug abuse. I've helped with chronic pain and fatigue. I've helped with depression, PTSD. I've helped a lot of veterans, and it has been an absolute honor to help them. And everything I do, it's free of charge, man. I don't ever charge a dime for any of this. I just want to help people. I want to break the stigma because, sure, we were idiots when we were getting high in high school, gave it a cliche. But now if people would just pay attention to the physical proof, the facts that we have, the documented evidence, and there's mountains of it, you'll see that, that this works. And if there's doctors out there and nurses that are saying, that, no, this is not right. No, you are not right. And you are in direct violation of your Hippocratic oath, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Absolutely. No, that's what that's what I try to tell a lot of people. I said, there's been studies done around the world, right? Especially in Israel. Israel does massive studies on cannabis and the medicinal benefits that it provides. But I look at people and say, what is it, because they're not American doctors? Is that why you're not listening to them? They are doctors. They are doctors.
It's funny. I don't have a degree, my man. I don't have a degree at all. All my family members do, but I don't. But I was an EMT, a paramedic, and I researching over the years and being self-taught. And then when Oklahoma went legal, doctors started asking questions because they're like, okay, there's got to be some viability to this. If there's not, there's not. But I mean, Food and Drug Administration been growing in southeastern Oklahoma longer we've been alive. Right. So, this is what they give AIDS patients, cancer patients, severe terminally ill. They get THC pills, tetrahydrocannabinol pills. And so, there's definitely medicine to it, but these doctors, they needed questions answered. They didn't know because it was scheduled. They're not going to put their name on it. They're not going to look into this. Right? It's illegal. Mm-hmm. And so now that we have this gray area where we're venturing in and we're starting to learn stuff, my buddy called me and said, hey, I've got some other doctors up here that, have questions. Would you mind coming up to answer? And sure. So we get up there and I'm talking to him, and they're like, so, and this is actually where the title came from. And it wasn't even, like I said, I don't have a degree. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I was just an EMT and all that stuff, but that's it. He was like, so Josh, what do you do? And I was like, well, I help people determine what dosages, products, percentages they need for the cannabis to see if it'll work for them. He's like, so you're basically what, a medical cannabis advisor? I was like, sounds great.
Sounds awesome.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever we want to call me is fine. I just want to help people. And like I said, I understand what we've done to ruin the name of the plant, but I'll spend the rest of my life defending it and trying to remove the stigma, because I've seen firsthand what it can do for seizures, for epilepsy, for anxiety, PTSD, for autism. I've seen CBD work miracles in pets. Right. I mean, just and folks out there, the CBD that's for pets is no different than for humans. It's the same exact thing. The only difference is they put a dog or a cat on the label.
Right.
It's the same cookie you've been eating all week. Right. But you guys just, I tell people, find somebody that is, listen to this podcast, listen to us, come to us, ask us. I can recommend dispensaries. Like I said, if you're really starting this journey in Oklahoma and you're medical and you want that guide to be with you and to find the right thing so that we avoid the too much THC, the horror stories that you hear on the street. And, one of the worst things, like I said, don't take anything from your friends. If you eat something and it doesn't work, don't let your friend tell you, oh, it's okay, eat some more. No, your friend hates you if he's telling you to do that. He wants you to be sick.
Right. No, absolutely, brother. That's absolutely right. No, it's absolutely right? Because, a lot of people that are listening on the show, right, are scared, right? A lot of people they feel like, I've been trying everything. I've been on every single pill. I've done this, I've done that, and nothing's helping. And the only thing I keep hearing about is cannabis, CBD, CBD.
It can help.
And I don't know. Can it really help? Yes, it can help, right? I have people that reach out to me. And say, hey, I have this issue. Do you think you can help me? And if I don't know, I reach back out to you guys, like you, Lucky. I'd be like, hey, man, I got this guy dealing with this. Do you know anything about this? I just reached out to Brittany not too long ago, and she's like, I don't know nothing about it, but let me get you in contact with my nurse who does know about this.
Mhm.
And
I
she provided me documentation, and I sent him documentation. I said, review this documentation, because if I don't know, I know somebody that does know. You know,
I'm the same way. I'm not gonna, if you call me, you know, and you're like, hey, Lucky, man, I've got this is this. I was like, dude, that's new for me.
Yeah.
Give me 24 hours.
Let me figure it out.
Call you with medical documentation.
Right, exactly.
So,
you know, and that's one of the things, guys, that we're telling you about is like, our job is to break the stigma that the government gave on this plant. That's our job. Our job is to help educate you guys, right? Because a lot of guys don't know, right? People know about Lortabs and Flexerol and all this other crap that we're ingesting, right? What does the doctor tell you when he provides you a medication? What does he tell you? Try it for a couple of weeks. Let me know how you feel. Come back. Let me know how you feel.
And if you have a reaction, go to the emergency room immediately.
Right? And so that's one thing we tell you guys, right? Try it. Try it for a couple of weeks. See how it makes you feel. If you don't notice anything, let us know so we know exactly. All right, well, let's try this angle then. If that angle didn't work, let's try this angle then. We got to find that balance. We got to find that good balance for you, because everybody's chemical makeup, everybody's body's different. Everybody has a different chemical makeup. And we have got to, you got to learn it, right? You have to learn it. It's like Lucky said, when he finds out what hits the button, he goes and finds multiple strains that have that same terpene profile. Right. So you know exactly, okay, well, I can't get that one right now, but I can get this one, and I can get that one, and I could try this one, and I could try that one now, you know? And that's how you keep your body balanced and leveled out, you know?
Yeah, we do. And it's so important, you know, and I always, you know, for those of us that have been doing this and when we're trying to help our friends, we're trying to do it. I appreciate that so much. And that you guys are pushing these people, but just make sure that we get them to the right place. You know, the majority of the work that I did with the doctors was trying to make sure that the THC and the CBD did not counteract or work negatively with any of the other medications that they're on. Right. I'm going to tell you this first. If you're one of these people, you know, I've had people come in and say, you know what, I'm on this. I'm going to stop it all right now and start with cannabis. I'm like, God, no.
No, don't do that.
No,
right? That's what I try to tell them. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I work with doctors. I work with your doctor. He can come and now most of it's public knowledge. Most of it can be researched online. Mm-hmm. You know, anybody can look up the pharmaceutical drugs that you're on and see if they counteract or they don't counteract. You know, very rarely can you not find something, you know, because of everything that's out there now. It's available to you. It's public knowledge. You just got to look. But I'm always there to help guide and help ask questions. But, you know, I work with your doctor. You know, you should never stop just taking medication to try something. You need to tell your doctor that you're thinking about using cannabis. Now, if your doctor is one of those that's vehemently against it, no, and he spouts off all these horrible misinformation, then you have the right to a second opinion. You have the right to go to a doctor. But for God's sakes, please don't just stop taking something and take it, especially if we're working with medicine that deals with the mind.
Right. No, absolutely. That's one thing I tell my audience, right? I tell them that on regular basis. Like, if you're going to start using cannabis, keep taking your medication and start learning, hey, if I smoke, I don't need this pill. I don't feel like I need this pill. And then
there it is. We bring it down.
You start taking one by one off slowly, but you have to introduce cannabis into your system and get a routine going, and then have an understanding of how it's making you feel. Oh, I don't feel like I need this pill today. I don't feel like I need this pill today, because cannabis has been helping, right? It's been balancing you out. And that's how we start getting you off the pill. But don't stop taking your pills because you started smoking weed. Don't do that. It's going to mess you up, guys. It's kind of like the same thing I tell people who are who take blood pressure medication. I was like, if you're taking CBD, before you take your blood pressure pill, check your balance before you take that, because CBD regulates your blood pressure. Your blood pressure medicine drops your blood pressure.
That's correct.
It's not CBD that's making you sick. CBD is balancing you. Your blood pressure pill is doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to drop your blood pressure. That's why you bottom out and you feel like crap. It's because of the pill you took, because you're already taking CBD, you know? And so that's why I tell people, if you're taking CBD, check your pressure before you take your pill, because your pill's going to bottom you out. That's doing what it's intended to do, you know?
Yeah.
But this
You know,
is everything,
so,
guys. This is everything, guys. That we keep telling you. It's just it's education, education, education.
it's so important
It's so
because
important.
we find that right product, we find that right medium for you. It's a game changer. It's miraculous. Is it gonna cure your cancer? No. Is
No.
it gonna end all pain for you?
No.
No. What it's going to do is it's going to help you live a better quality of life by taking less medication and help regulating your system. And there's a cannabinoid for almost everything. Now, at the beginning I said it's not for everybody. And we don't really see this with the CBD side. It's happened, but it's extremely rare. But THC can be too much for people. It's just, like I said, it's a psychotropic. Yeah, it's the one that gets everybody high, but it too has medicinal benefits, but we need to be careful with it. So when you're starting this and you don't smoke, please don't start. That's not good for the lungs. If you're going to start with edibles, you need to, most places, and this is what's kind of, the majority of the first edibles people try are 10 milligram, right? THC distillate. Okay, that's too much. We need to start with no more than 5. And to be honest with you, if you can find a gummy that is, or something that is less than 5, I recommend that.
Yeah.
There's a company in Oklahoma that makes one of the most killer products that I've ever used. And it has worked miracles. And it's Nature's Key. And it's a 25-to-1 ratio CBD THC gummy. It's 1 milligram of THC to 25 milligrams of CBD. Now, for those that have been doing this a little bit longer and they've studied and they've looked into it, we all know that when we add a little bit of THC to that CBD,
it's amazing.
Boom!
It's amazing. Oh,
it's
my
huge.
gosh.
And not a lot, just a little bit. So we add 1 milligram of THC to 25 CBD. Now that 1 milligram game change, it unlocks all the magic of the CBD that's in there. But the CBD is enough to counteract the psychotropic, so you're not high.
Yep.
So now you are getting the best of all worlds, because yes, CBD works great. Yes, THC works great if it's working with your chemistry. But when we blend the two together,
and you guys already know about this. I tell you guys about this, right? When I was blending my flour out, I like the head shift.
That's what I do. I grind all my strains together.
Yeah, so I like the head shift, and so I put a little bit more THC, but I make sure I have a good CBD flour to blend with it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I tell people, it's euphoric. Like when you get that perfect balance of CBD to THC ratio, it's euphoric. Like everything goes away and you're just like, oh my gosh, I never knew I could feel so freaking good, And that's one thing I try, like you're saying. I mean, when you guys understand how THC and CBD work together, dude, like it's harmony. They work together in harmony. That's why it always says like that 25-to-1. You have just enough THC to carry that CBD to that CB1 receptor to help heal,
Absolutely. It's absolutely, it's miraculous. It really is. But it's so important that not only you educate, but you find people like us who I've studied the marijuana plant for over 20 years.
And you're always learning something new. Always.
And I'm still learning. I still do it today. It's like I was able to, when my dad got cancer, I came up to him one day and I said, "Hey, Dad, a buddy of mine made you some chocolates," because my dad's an alcoholic. And I started giving it to him because I wanted him to taper off the Lortab. And about 6 weeks in, he comes up to me and he's retired now. My dad's, but he comes up and he's, "Josh," I said, "Yeah, Dad. Do I want to know what's in those chocolates?" And I said,
"Nah."
"Is it helping you?" And he goes, he actually I fucking love them. I was like, "Why don't we just leave it like that, Dad?" I said, "What was the term? Plausible deniability that you're talking about?" But I was like, "Fair enough, son. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Let's just keep doing what you're doing."
He did really well. My mom, unfortunately, I was not able to assist her because she, the symptoms that she had made her extremely combative and hostile and aggressive. And so there was I couldn't assist her like I wanted to. But Dad Dad was great.
Yeah.
And when they got cancer, that's what really honed my skill on knowing how the strains function with body, how they work with medical maladies. That's why I tell people all the time, guys, you're going to hear people tell you, and it's misconstrued, marijuana, THC cannabinoids do not cure cancer. Okay. It's not going to happen. What it does do is kill some types of cancer cells, and can be beneficial in an addition of right diet, right medication, working all together, a conglomerate. You know, it's like having the Justice League come in and fight your malady for you. It's kind of like that.
Right.
But it is very beneficial. It can help you get off opiates. It can just make your life a lot better, but you just got to go about it the right way. And most people don't. And when they get sick off the first time of a gummy, of course, it's going to turn you off to it. You're not going to no, I don't want to mess with that. It's not. It's because you wouldn't, it's like, you got to go to the right person for the right thing. You're not going to go to a carpenter for heart surgery.
Right.
It's the same way, you need to find someone in the camp that's legitimate, that knows their stuff, that's done their homework. And guys, like I said, if you are wanting to do medical and you're wanting to be discreet and you don't want to go into a dispensary where there's loud music and people have guns hanging off their belts everywhere, Silverleaf Dispensary off 63rd Meridian is truly the only medicinal clinic in the state of Oklahoma. Jerry Almufla, one of my dearest friends and the only other cannabis advisor, he'll sit with you and he'll talk to you all day if that's what it takes to find the right product for you. And he is all about CBD at first. We don't approach THC until we need to.
Right.
It's not just because a lot of people don't want to get high. They just want the pain to end, or they just want the pain. Yeah, pain bearable. They don't want to. They don't want to look like Dank and Dabby on Disjointed. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to look like that. God bless those two. But man, that's what it is. And you guys that are listening to this podcast, I'm not going to lie, this is one of the most informative podcasts I've listened to, that I've been on. That's the guests are just on point. I mean, it's such a treasure trove of knowledge right here. So all these that I've listened to, man, have all been wonderful, great, leading in the right direction. These are people that are passionate, that put all of you guys in your care first above their own, and they've experimented on themselves, and they would never, approach something or offer something to you or recommend that they have not tried themselves or done the homework on, guys. And
absolutely, bro. I appreciate that, brother. No, but it's because of guests like yourself. That's my biggest thing, right? And you guys that have been listening to the show for years now, right? That's one of the biggest things that you guys have an understanding of, is that I'm not gonna feed you full of crap, dude. I'm a jarhead. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna be up front and tell you, right? If I don't know. If I don't know, I got somebody that does know. Like everybody that comes on the show, you guys know that these guys are huge advocates of this plant. They already know. It's like Lucky said, if they've already tried it. They already know. Don't do it like this. I did it like that. I've been there. I've done that. It wasn't good. I already know. Let me tell you why I know. Because I've already done it myself, right? I've already consumed way too many edibles. I've had the most horrible experience. I've been there. But many times, actually. Right? Let me walk you through it and let me help guide you, right? Because a lot of you guys that are listening are probably scared. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how about beginning this journey. I don't know where to start on this journey, right? And like I tell you guys have an endocannabinoid system. Like I tell you every week. You don't believe me? Go to the government website, nih.gov, novemberindiahotel.gov. Type in endocannabinoid system, and it will break it down and tell you everything about the endocannabinoid system and why it's so important to replenish your endocannabinoid system. How it plays such a role.
Yeah, it's easy to read, guys. It's not hard. It's not a bunch of medical jargon or anything like that. No, it's you guys.
And it tells you how it deals with you feeling good, dealing with you being sick, catching the cold, catching the flu, why the endocannabinoid system is so important when you do catch the flu or catch the cold or catch anything, how it plays a role into your natural health. You know, this is one of the things, guys, and this is why I'm so excited. I'm so glad to bring Lucky on. Like I said, I've been listening to some cannabis shows, and I'll go through them like, that sounds like a good guest. They'd be great on my show. Because why? Because this is our job, guys. This is what I'm doing as a Stoned vet, right? A veteran like yourself who has deployed overseas multiple times, like yourself, trying to figure out, how do I build this relationship with my spouse? How do I build this relationship with my kids or my significant others, right? Because we all suck. As veterans, we suck at holding relationships with people who mean the most to us. And this right here, what I have learned in the past 2.5 years since I have not consumed cannabis, I have let myself go, and I have been rude to my friends, my family, and everything in between, right? And I have learned this for the past 2.5 years that I've not been able to consume cannabis. I've done a lot of stupid crap because I play off of instinct. I just go off instinct. When I consume cannabis, I can control my instincts and just control who I am as a human being, right? And this is one of the things that we have to learn is, how can I use this medicine to help me treat this crap that I got while serving my country, you know? Can cannabis work, dude? You guys have seen the guests I brought on my show. They all consume cannabis on a regular basis. Why? Because it helps treat the things that they suffer from.
It does.
Right.
It really does.
Well, Lucky, we're getting close to the end of the show. How do you want to leave the audience today?
I just want to say thank you so much for your time, for listening. I appreciate it. I'm grateful. And if you guys have any questions at all, if you're nervous or scared, contact my man here. He can get in touch with me. I'm glad to help any of you. I'll walk that path with you. You don't have to do it alone. And just know we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll get you in the right way. And we're here to help you. We're here to make life easier and make those relationships better and make your life more enjoyable. And so just know we got your back.
Absolutely, brother. I really appreciate it. Like you guys know, on every episode, in the description box, I'm not shady like some of these podcasters. I'm going to ensure that I put all their contact information in the description box so you can reach them personally. So you can call them, you can email them, you can say, hey, I heard your episode and it really touched me. It really touched what I was dealing with, and I want to reach out to you to see if you'd be willing to help me. And like Lucky said, he said, I'm down to help you, dude, because his job, like he said, like all of ours, is to break the stigma and make sure that you're getting the proper medication you need to treat your ailments that you suffer from, man.
That's it.
You know, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, enjoying this wonderful opportunity to bring on another advocate of this amazing plant, helping break the stigma across this country, right? That's our biggest goal, is to fight for federal legalization in this country, to help us fight for medical freedom. You guys served our country. You guys fought in war multiple times. Every freaking year you were in service, right? Some of y'all went overseas 4 times, 8 times, 10 times, however many times you went overseas. You fought that war for this country. But now you're on American soil and you have to continue fighting this war for medical freedom. That's what it comes down to, is fighting for medical freedom, to be able to use the medicine that you deserve, right? Nobody should tell us that we're not able to use any medicine that we want to try. Right. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Like I said, go check out my sponsor, Rafa 180. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha180.com. You want to get some of the Stone Vet swag? See, I've got my cup here. I got my amazing cup. It's starting to get cold outside. You want to keep your coffee hot, keep your drinks hot. It's going to keep your cup hot for like 8 hours. I got some swag. I got some shirts. I got all kinds of stuff over there. You guys ain't buying nothing. Ginger and David tell me every month ain't nobody buying anything. Get over there and get some gear, man. Look for the Stone Vet tag up top in the top corner of the Rafa 180 website, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, Lucky. I appreciate this opportunity to be able to have you on the show as well, man. Remember, guys, if you're going to smoke responsibly. Remember, if you're going to smoke a little bit more for me, because I got less than 30 days, man. I'm almost there. Almost there, man.
It's coming.
You guys hit the Stone Vet. We got your 6.
Get trouble. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. Nothing changed by complaining. I adapt and overcome. I make the best out of situations. I stay alert for my enemies trying to do me some harm. I fight for your freedom of speech and your right to bear.